All right. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing well. Great to see you. Welcome to the Taurus reading here for the next 6 to 8 weeks. We're looking, of course, at the energy of June, starting, of course, in May so that you can get a head start and really be prepared for all the opportunities that present themselves to you. My name is Nicholas, and this little cutie pie here is my dog, Apollo. And I can't wait, actually, to get into all of the messages. I'm going to put him down so we can get started. Again, my name is Nicholas, and let's see here. Welcome to your monthly forecast. Hopefully the recording started at the right time. Sometimes it takes a minute or two, but I can see now on my display that you can see me. So anyway, welcome. I finally updated my format here. This is what we're going to be looking at today. We'll begin with some channeled messages at the very beginning. Then we'll go into the Celtic Cross. And something new that I've added to the forecast today is sun rising and moon messages. That'll come right before the meditation. We do a lot of other interactive things here, like looking at some of the blessings and blocks. I may kind of cut out the reader's choice or the viewer's choice just because we have a lot more information and just go straight to readers, but we'll play with it today. I always like to have fun with that. You can use the entirety of this reading for either sun, rising, moon, or Venus. Let me move my mic a little closer so you can hear me. Or you can also use it to watch on behalf of someone that you love or care about, okay? You'll notice I have most of the candles lit here today. I saved the big candle here so that we can set an intention together and also call in some protective energy. So we're going to start with doing that, and then I'll get straight into all of those channeled messages. A couple of quick notes before I begin. First of all, thank you if you joined me early. I know a lot of folks are confused about the times. I have construction going on all around my apartment, so I'm in the process of looking for a new place. But for this month, hopefully, until the construction is done, I'll just keep them early so that there's no interruptions of sound or noise as there was in a couple of the readings last month. Great thing to do to make sure you don't miss any of my readings is to both subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you do get notifications. And also you need it if you're going to join in the live chat. If you happen to miss the live, recording here, it's always going to be available on replay, so feel free to watch it then. Also, you can get reminders on social media. All my links are right there. I also pinned it in live chat. And if you want to give back in the way of support, you can do that through SuperChats, SuperStickers, memberships. And I already see a bunch of members here, so thank you so much. All right. Let's go ahead and light the candle for intention, and also first and foremost to bring in the energy of the divine. So we'll do that to begin. I've already done all of the archangel candles behind me, so I wanted to just kind of save us a little bit of time here. Okay, so the reason I'm really keen on setting a candle for intention in just a moment is because a lot of the images that were coming through in dreams and meditation this morning were kind of like technical, oddly enough, in nature. So it feels like old programming and old sort of projections need to kind of fade away. And one of the things that will help is a goal or a vision or something that you really want to attach to in the future, because then you can prioritize and kind of sort things out. So let's call in the divine energy first, and then I want you to think about something where you would like to make an impact. Either letting go of something or creating or fostering something. So there's 2 wicks in this candle. The first wick we're going to call in the divine energy. I like to imagine a spotlight, a ray of sunshine, a ray of starlight or moonlight, it doesn't matter. Connect to that higher source of light and just close your eyes and feel that energy around you. Taking a deep breath, say I'm ready to receive love, abundance, and guidance in the highest forms. And we'll light the first wick in this candle. And your prayer has been heard. All right, now let's focus on bringing in whatever it is that you're trying to manifest in your life. It could be love, it could be job, it could be something internal, something a little bit bigger and deeper that you're trying to create within your sort of like personality or within your sort of abilities. So whatever it is you're trying to do, it's perfect. I just want you to focus on that one thing where you're going to make an impact, where you're going to do some work. So I'm going to add mine to this as well and set that intention, let it go, and trust that it will be heard and we'll be able to pick up on it as we take a look at all the cards today. Okay. Thank you for working with me and participating with me. Okay. So welcome everybody. Someone asked if I just start. Absolutely. If I'm lighting candles, it's the beginning, it's not the end. So you joined at a perfect time. And again, if you happen to watch this on replay, it doesn't matter. It's kind of cool that way because if you were meant to be here, you're going to get the messages that you're supposed to get. Okay. So we're going to begin with, of course, channeled messages. And a lot of this came through dreams, and I'll talk about how it felt, what I was seeing, and then we'll try to make it sort of like connect to you and break it down, because that's what dreams are. They're symbols and they help us sort of understand things. All right, so spirit totems and channeled messages, here we come. All right, so today, as I said, there's some very interesting technical ones. A lot of times I have nature totems. Today, it was technology that came through, but they're symbols and they're totems nonetheless. So I was shown holograms, basically those three-dimensional projections. And then I was shown programs, almost like they were constructs, and they had divine masculine and feminine energy. And so we're going to talk about what that means for you as we go through the slides. All right, so just in case you don't know what a hologram is, I had to kind of really look through and try to find the easiest sort of definition that I could. The easiest one that we can all understand is that it's a three-dimensional image. They're formed by lasers or lights, and the sort of like the fact that they kind of disrupt one another, that's what creates the form. So basically we can say they're three-dimensional light projections, and they have the same depth and parallax and other properties of a real thing, whether it's a person or an animal or an object, but it's not. It's a facsimile. It's a construct. So one of the things that this could represent is fear or hope, if we want to take it to a different place. Like the moon card, holograms represent the liminal, which is that sort of in-between zone, threshold between dreams and reality. To me, that's exciting. That liminal space is kind of like before you go to sleep and then you go into your dreams, or right after. That's actually a very psychic space. So sometimes when I've had visitations from relatives that have passed, they come in that liminal space, and you can reach it in meditation too. Just closing your eyes, breathing, taking yourself just to that threshold of being almost asleep but still being awake. You can then access a lot of things psychically. Now, at the beginning or the inception of new things, it's also a very powerful space. You don't have to be half asleep for that to happen. It could just be the beginning, the inception of an idea when it comes into your head, when you're brainstorming with a group of people. That's also a very new and gentle space, a liminal space. So what you want to do during these inception periods is to try to be open to possibilities, because you can either shut it down or you can reach to the ceiling. And that's what I said, raise the ceiling and focus on possibilities rather than limitations, because fear is the old program coming in to try to stop the program, crash it, slow it down. And so what you want to do is push through or reach up a little bit, if that makes sense. Hopefully you do. So I think that's a really powerful sort of message for us here. And one thing with the moon cards sometimes as a reminder is it's a reflection. I mean, sometimes you'll even see the moon reflecting into the pool of water underneath it. So it's showing us things that we need to see, maybe things that we don't want to see, and it's not always showing us the full vision of it. We have to do a little bit of intuitive investigation and work. But I like that, yeah, fear is a part of it, but so is dreams, and then dreams can lead to a reality. So you have to kind of walk through the space and not be afraid to explore, not be afraid to see what you see, and then use your waking mind to decide what you want to do with that. All right, next slide here. Project your vision. What is a hologram? We just talked about it. It's a light that's projected into space that basically disrupts that space, and then you see something. So as a totem, this technology represents your ability to project, conjure, manifest, and create. Absolutely magician energy, because there's a little bit of illusion to this as well. I would say, as I did with the second bullet here, that it's a combination of both the magician and the high priestess energy, which are two of the most powerful cards in the major arcana. Here's the key to making this successful. if you probably have noticed this if you've ever listened to, like, think back to school when there's been a couple of people that present maybe arguments or similar things. The presentation, what wins you over in the presentation is not just how articulate they are, but their sort of charisma, how they connect with the source material that they're trying to get you into. And really at the core of it, do they believe in it? Do they know it? I think two of the most important things for me if I'm going to talk to somebody is, do they know what they're talking about? Or am I afraid that they're actually winging it? Particularly if it's the case of someone that's going to like work on your car or give you advice for your health, etc. Do they know what they're talking about, or are they winging it? And the second piece beyond the knowledge is the belief and the enthusiasm. Because someone who may not have all the information yet, but is excited about the possibilities, can also pull you in, because that's sort of like a really positive, magnetic, infectious sort of energy where it says, yeah, but this is exciting. Let's figure it out together. So know what you want and then believe that it's possible. Put those two together and it's a pretty powerful sort of elixir, if you will. So people will read your energy. If you don't believe it, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do, they won't either. If you do, you have the ability to win them over with the emotion and the charisma that we just talked about. So it's the belief that makes it stick. That's the adhesive. That's the glue. All right. Now let's go to the next piece here. People are listening. People are receptive. So don't be afraid to go above and beyond. This is actually a good time to work hard, to put in that extra mile of work, because I was connecting to the energy of the Six of Wands, which is success. Reach beyond your normal boundaries. Sometimes I would get that with Six of Swords, but I was also seeing it here with Six of Wands. You can, for those of you that have a small business, for those of you that are trying to find a job, for those that are trying to date, go beyond the normal circles that you would engage with and think, what if I try this? What if I go there? What if I talk to this person? And carry with you the idea that this could be really exciting or successful or educational. Think that there's going to be something that's gained from it, because if you bring that into the approach, they're going to feel it too, and then it will be successful, right? So rather than saying you have nothing to lose, how about you have everything to gain? How about there could only be a positive interaction? Go in with that sort of thought, because even nothing to lose has sort of like a lower frequency. So I think this could be really beneficial. I think this could be exciting. Put that out there instead. Let's try to take out even the sort of subtle negative stuff that sometimes we will put in there in our thoughts and manifestations. It's all about reprogramming in this month, if you can't tell. All right. There's more than meets the eye. So because the hologram is about projection, illusion, facsimile, people don't even know what facsimile is anymore, but like basically carbon copy or copy, you're going to be able to see sometimes before others do that something smells fishy, something isn't quite what it is, or that there might be something that needs to be investigated. There's a little bit more than meets the eye. So trust in what we used to call the gut instinct, but really it's your intuition. Particularly when you read a new person or a new situation or a project or an opportunity. What is the initial download that you get? Is it excitement? Is it anticipation? Is it anxiety? Is it sort of saying no? Whatever that is, there's something valid to that. So go to that first. See why am I triggered by this? Why am I excited by this? And then use that as a jumping off point. I would say 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, whenever I don't follow my hunch, first of all, it's going to make things a lot more difficult, but I usually end up regretting it too. And I think to myself, like, why didn't I just go with that hunch? It doesn't matter how intuitive you are. Sometimes you worry, like, oh, maybe I should give this a second chance, etc. One thing that I've learned is that particularly if someone says something and you think, I should listen to that, you should listen to it. If someone says, I'm not ready for this, or you deserve better, or I think you're making a mistake, listen to what they're saying, because it is the universe sort of using them as a speaker or loudspeaker, particularly if they don't have self-confidence or confidence in partnering up with you or you kind of working with them on some level, that's a big red flag. So use your intuition to sort out the good and then the not so good, and then navigate accordingly, okay? This was the fascinating part of my dream. All right, so I was looking at, there's no better word to kind of describe it. I don't think these are kind of like earthly things, but I think life can take on many forms. So there's human life, obviously. We have animals and insects and viruses and bacteria. Who's to say that we couldn't find out there one day, like when we can finally explore the stars, that there would not be some sort of technological life. So that's what I was kind of meeting up with, was sort of like constructs, technology constructs. So AI, artificial intelligence. So there was a divine feminine and a divine masculine. Not that I've ever seen a gender in AI, but why not? And they were competing against each other. So the valuable piece about this is the programming here on this planet that we've created, which is still a construct that this is what masculine represents and this is what feminine represents. The truth of the matter is it's blurred. You can access it from you can do whatever you want with it. And this is from the Lightseer's Tarot here. This is truly kind of how I see the Strength card, which is, what do you need right now? Do you need more of the divine masculine? Do you need the divine feminine? And if you're in the divine feminine, don't forget that she holds the power in this particular card. So it's all an illusion. Who cares, right? So basically, rather than a tug of war, what I think we need to kind of do in this month ahead, particularly Taurus, is to kind of like feel free to play around. And if you need to be one day working more with divine feminine and one day more divine masculine, or you just want to do what you want to do and you're tired of how that's being perceived, who cares? How could this break down into an everyday thing? Well, for some of us, the type of work that we're doing could be perceived as more feminine or masculine. Again, who cares? I think we're moving past that. Maybe in your approach to your job, you need to bring in maybe more nurturing energy or more sort of assertive energy. It doesn't matter. Whatever you need to use, you can use. So just see it instead as sort of like a palette of colors, and we can dab in this one, we can dab in that one, and together we're going to paint something beautiful. And so focus less on labels, more on how it feels, and to what end this is sort of like creating a positive effect. These are the important things to sort of consider, okay? I think enough said with that. But there was a competition and it boiled down to programming. And we're still seeing it even now, that there's some sort of a difference between, a significant difference. And yes, we have differences, but between the genders, we're still there's still core human things that we all have in common. So I think the important thing here is to focus on the similarities and the ways to bridge the gaps and the ability for everybody to be who they need to be, okay? So be yourself, access the energy in the way that you feel appropriate. And if you see some sort of a binary construct, people saying only this type of person does that or that type of person does that, big flashing red light that this person has issues, it's not about you or this organization or the culture or whatever it is. You can decide, is this something I want to fight to change? Because we all need to do that from time to time or we would be stuck. If it's a battle you want to get behind, then get behind it. If it's something where you just want to stand up in a gentle way and basically say, you can think what you want to think, but this is me. That's also how change happens, right? So protest can be either standing outside and picketing or sitting or standing your ground. It doesn't matter. There's different ways to protest, but some of you may want to protest and seek your truth that way. All of this is sitting nicely in a month where we have a retrograde. So reprogramming or releasing that can happen perfectly because that's what this is about. So I keep using the word programming. We could substitute thinking or habits for that if it's too abstract for you. So old habits and old ways of thinking, they're not serving you. Think of using a very antiquated phone, maybe something from the 90s. It wouldn't even access the satellites now. 2G networks have been shut down, right? So imagine using something that was 2G flip phone, couldn't even send pictures or whatever. Some of you may think that that's a blessing, but there does come a point where old technology actually can't connect anymore. So when we think of old ways of thinking, it holds us back in the same ways. Or if you're trying to use like MS-DOS or BASIC or some of the old computing systems, you couldn't even use like the floppy disks and put it into a modern computer. There would be no way to interface. So we need to drop the old interfaces and the old ways of thinking and upgrade and speed it up a little bit to match where we're at right now. So you can reboot, try something new, and one of the important things to do today, and that's why I had you work with me on that second candle, was to set a goal. Intention is just another word for goal. Set a goal, set a vision, set a plan, and into action. So a couple of kind of like quote unquote homework questions came to me. What if there was no constraint on your vision or goal? So no money or no time restraints or anything of that sort of nature. What would you do with your life? How would you spend your time and energy? What in life brings you a sense of joy and purpose? Would make you want to get out of bed? And after you've thought through those a little bit, ask yourself, why have I held back from doing this? Has it just been because I haven't slowed down to think about it? Is it because I haven't asked myself, no one else asked me? Is it because I'm afraid of what kind of work it's going to take to do this? Is it because of like that divine masculine and feminine card that we looked at? I'm afraid how people will judge me because they don't think that this is the right fit for me. Whatever it is, this month you really have a chance to look at it and think, do I feel that way? Do I want to reprogram? Do I want to fight the program a little bit? Thinking of like the Matrix, which was kind of a cool metaphor. I never thought of it that way, but that's basically it. You're fighting the old programs around you and you're seeing through it. You're finding a new way to kind of like hack the code and be yourself. We're most powerful when we see and then believe in our vision. So back to like Neo from the Matrix, when he didn't believe in himself, he wasn't as powerful as he could be. The agents were able to kind of like get the better of him. But when he could see through that, when he believed that he was limitless, then all of a sudden the walls came down. So, obviously we have some constraints. We're being pushed down by gravity. We can't just float in the air. But when I'm talking about things that, are within reach, we're talking about goals and dreams and even like changing the person that you are. We can shift. We can make big shifts in our lifetime. We can make changes in the world around us. If we believe that it's possible, who knows how far we can go. But I can guarantee you, if you don't believe in yourself, then it's going to fail, then you're going to be blocked, then you're going to have a difficult time. So why not believe and see where that takes you, okay? Let me grab, I forgot to get a glass for my water, so let me get a glass of water. I already saw a recommendation from Andre of using the Luna deck, so I'd be happy to look at that. Let me know if there are any other suggestions, and then I'll bring out a few decks for you to vote on, okay? So I'm opening up to viewer's choice while I'm grabbing some water for this, or a glass for this, and then we'll vote. Sun and Moon deck comes to mind. Little Prince comes to mind. Let me see what else. Field Tarot. There's a bunch of ones that I might be drawn to today, but I want to open it up to all of you first, and then once we pick a few, then I will, let's see. All right, so what we're going to do right now is focus on grabbing some decks here. So yeah, I got Luna. We'll definitely grab that one. A couple of you have requested the Luna deck. Let me see. All right, so give me a second. We'll do for sure the Luna deck. Maybe the, okay, we'll do that. I see the Green Witch, that's a great choice. I think we might have chosen Green Witch last month. I don't know, it seems like we have. But maybe I'll grab it. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I pulled up. I've had the Afro Goddess out a few times. I'll put it in here, but Seems like most people want some different decks here, so we'll try some other things. All right, we have choices. Let me just kind of get these organized. All right. Here's what I've picked based on your decisions here. Let's see, I think it was kind of in this order. So just a benefit of joining live. Not only can you affect kind of like what's being chosen, but yeah, you can vote on them as well. All right. So thanks to everybody who got up early today and decided to join. I'm glad to have you here. All right, so we have the Luna deck here. We have Field Tarot, Green Witch, and Afro-Goddess. I just grabbed the first ones that I was seeing there, and then I put one of my own in there as well that we haven't used for a little bit. All right, so take a moment, and just in case you haven't seen them, I'll pull a few cards up. So this is the super sparkly, fun choice, which I think is probably going to win because it's a beautiful deck here. This is the Luna deck. Good choice. Anyway, I love it. So that'll be option 1. And then we have the Field Tarot here, also a beautiful one. We just used the ethereal, not the ethereal visions, but the Field Tarot, and it's very close to that one. So, oh wait, is this, did I, not the Field Tarot, but there's another one that looks almost just like this one. And then this is the Green Witch, which I also love. And let's see. And then we have Afro-Goddess as well. Okay. So they're very different choices. I tried to present some very different ones. This one has much more of an illustration style. This one is, well, this one's kind of like paintings. This one's kind of like cartoony. This one has more of a flat illustration style to it, a little bit more abstract. And then this one just has beautiful foil. It's basically ethereal visions, but updated with more diverse imagery and some foil. All right, so let's see. Luna deck is winning by like a landslide. Why am I talking so much? Let's go straight to the Luna deck. All right. Taurus has spoken. Thanks, everybody, for your votes. Let's begin. So, if you just joined, we're looking at, not the channel messages, we're looking at the Celtic Cross. We just got through the channel messages. And the Celtic Cross, again, is going to help us navigate the next 6 to 8 weeks. You can use the entirety of my reading, like I said, for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. And let's take a look at the messages that are coming through for you. And yes, they're holographic. Good choice on that, yes. Everything has a reason and a season. Yeah, the original one had gold foil, I believe, and then this one was updated with sort of like a silver holographic look, which is nice. One thing to keep thinking of this month is like, what's your intention? What is it you're trying to create? What is it you're trying to release? Happy birthday to those of you that are celebrating birthdays. Apollo just celebrated his adoption birthday a few weeks ago. He's Taurus, and at least in that sort of respect. So, love that sign. I also have a Taurus moon placement, so I definitely can connect with the energy here. All right, let's take a look at what's coming through. We'll start with your Catalyst card, and we have the Drive card here. So for me, there's a couple things. We can look at it less as a chariot, which is really what I'm seeing, and more as like, let's take the word drive on a literal level, and the fact that this card was reversed. Some of you may be lacking the sort of drive or vitality or that momentum to kind of like get things going. So sometimes we need help on that. So if you're lacking focus or inspiration, who in your life can kind of come through and provide a sense of like a big picture to kind of get you excited about that? You may need a project manager, you may need a friend, you may need to just sort of like talk to a mentor. There could also be something deeper going on where you're just deciding, I don't like this anymore, and that's okay. Because sometimes we need to know what it is that we don't like, because a lack of drive or inspiration is our mind and body saying, I can't do this. If you're finding it like a struggle to get up in the morning and go to school or to work, or to do some sort of an activity that used to bring you joy, it's definitely a wake-up call to think, is this the right thing for me? Am I doing it more for my friends, for my family, for the external expectation and accolades that I'm getting, and less for the fact that it kind of brings me joy or I feel like I'm making a difference? So that's the first thing. Is the lack of drive actually indicative of a change that you need to make? Then we see this as a metaphor for the chariot. We have Ganesha here, who helps us remove obstacles. And one of the obstacles here is maybe to try it from a different angle or a different way of thinking. Because sometimes if we keep pushing down a path that's sort of like not leading to anything productive, you're just spinning your wheels. If you're talking to someone who's just not listening, or if you're trying to do something and nobody shows up, there's a lot of different signs of, just people kind of clocking out. So I would say for you, pay attention to the feedback that you're getting, the environmental feedback, the verbal feedback, and then the friction, like how difficult it is to do something. Because what I'm seeing here is a course correction. A drive or a chariot card in reverse is saying I'm either lacking inspiration or I'm not making progress. Therefore, I probably should try moving in a different direction. Okay? Main thing that I'm seeing with that. And you'll be fine. It's just sometimes difficult to make that initial call, because any investment of time and energy can make you more apt to stick with something long after you shouldn't. So maybe this is that sort of wake-up call that you need to understand and to remember it's okay. Better to make the change now than many months later when it's much more difficult. Let's see what's going on here at the heart of the spread. I'm excited to see not just the Ace of Cups, but the Two of Cups, and not only one ace, but two. We've got an Ace of Cups at the center, and we have an Ace of Pentacles there in the outcome. So as I was saying, if you believe in it, other people are ready and willing to kind of believe in it, because that's your heart. That's what you're offering to the world. That's someone picking up on it. So we can literally see giving and receiving going on there. Also, very auspicious to have an Ace of Cups, a Two of Cups, and an Ace of Pentacles, because that's also interest in love, interest in a contract, interest in whatever it is you're offering. So we'll read it as we go through all of the cards, but already the fact that these cards are here and then you got the star here, it's looking good to me, Taurus. We'll kind of go through the challenges, but so far so good. A couple of sevens here that could create some challenge here with the Seven of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, but nothing at all so far that's insurmountable. In fact, if anything, this looks like a good month from a glance. All right, so you've got the Ace of Cups smack dab in the center. Let me just get this set up here. So you remember the last slide? What do you want, basically, is what I was asking on the last slide. What's your intention? What's your desire? Look how we see that beautiful thunderbird or phoenix or dove or whatever you want to kind of like figure it is. Looks to me kind of like a thunderbird. But there's that energy of momentum that builds once you know yourself, once you know your heart. And that's the most important thing, Taurus, this month, is to decide, what do I want? Who am I? What do I stand for? What kind of inspires me? And also, if presented with something, do I like this? Do I want this? Is this for me? Knowing who you are, what you want, is going to help you answer the second question. And then also trusting how you feel when you connect with someone or something. So if it is a first date, some of you it may be, or if it is a first interview, something where there's a chance to kind of like gauge one another, because that's what we've got with the Two of Cups. You decide, like maybe they are very much interested in you, but are you interested in them? Do you feel like you're being treated equally? Interesting that we have the Lion here, which is part of the Strength card. What you see here is evenly matched. So again, you shouldn't feel like there's a tug of war. And if there is a tug of war, there's an opportunity to melt through whatever that old programming or old way of thinking is. But when it comes to a relationship or a contract or an opportunity, make sure you want it. Make sure they want you. Make sure there's equal participation, desire, interest. That's the most important thing. Because right off the bat, it looks like you have a very good chance of connecting with someone, getting what you want. Just make sure that it's exactly what you want and they want you as much as you want them, okay? And again, this is working as much for a relationship as it is for a contract or a job. So you've got very attractive energy this month and very magnetic energy this month, and I'm just trying to kind of help you do the best with it, all right? It's a great time to get out there. So if you're job seeking or looking for love, or if you're even trying to kind of deepen a current relationship, no matter the context of it, these are great. These are great. I can't actually remember the last time I pulled an Ace of Cups and a Two of Cups. It's been a while. I don't usually get them right in a row, okay? Because I shuffle my deck pretty well, and you don't usually get consecutive cards. So that to me is indicative of knowing, presenting, asking the universe, and then receiving. And it'll happen fast. The star is just as powerful as the High Priestess. She's connected to Source. So if you've been wanting something for a while, really now release it and say, now is the time. I am ready to receive this or something better. Show me in an incontrovertible way how to make this happen. Whether it's work within or looking at an opportunity around me, I can feel that it is here. Let's make this happen. Okay? That's kind of what you should be focusing on, because it feels very tangible, very close. And the main thing is to ask for it and then let it go, and then just keep an open eye and see where it shows up, because it should show up pretty quickly, 1 to 2 months anyway. All right, deep past. What's affecting you? What helped bring you to this space of manifestation? We have the Page of Swords in reverse, which I like. I love an outspoken court card when it comes to swords. Page of Swords in reverse is very much ready and willing to edit, to speak up, to speak out. The only thing that can ever hold the Page of Swords back sometimes is that they can tend to be a little hard on themselves. So sometimes there's too much critical comparison to like someone else that's maybe older or just had more luck or has just kind of worked a little longer in the industry, whatever it is that's going on. Or you're looking at someone else who is in a partnership and has all these other things that you want, and you just think, why not me? Is there something wrong with me? So I like to remind folks that you have no idea maybe how many lifetimes someone's worked to get to where they're at. So sometimes what seems like it's easy or lucky for somebody could just be the aggregate work of tens of hundreds of lifetimes that finally kind of came together. And this life, they're kind of going with it, and let's just be happy for them wherever they're at. Focus instead on, all right, that inspires me. Jealousy actually is inspiration, and you can mold it into something else and say, how can I work on myself to achieve something similar? What can I learn from them? Is there something in their path that they did that I can do? And then get inspired and then bring your own sort of like special approach to it as well, because we don't want to, remember, it's not about being a facsimile or a copy. We want to also project your vision, your voice, your truth. And that actually is what Page of Swords in reverse can also be. Something that hasn't been said, something that hasn't been done, something that hasn't been seen, something interesting. When we think about like what's popular right now, there's two things that usually catch on. There is the mass marketed commercial things where it's just what we're talking about, sequeled to the point that there's nothing original in it anymore. We keep watching it, waiting for that original lightning to strike, but it's not there. Then we have the new stuff that's different, that stands out, and is so refreshing. And it's like eating the same food every day, and all of a sudden you try something new and it tastes different and you like it and you think, why haven't I tried this? So your chance is to be the different thing, the new flavor, the new sort of vision that hasn't been seen, okay? Page of Pentacles. You've got some really powerful resource cards here. If we were to take the whole spread out, you can basically do a reading in 3 cards, okay? Past, present, future. So you've been working on yourself. All you need to do is love and accept that and let go of it on some levels, because this can be a release card. And then we see that you're on the right path here with the 6 of Pentacles. That's my base card for having more than enough. Some of you are focusing so much on something that it feels like you have to let it go. This page, I love pages, but this page seems to be very intent, very connected, very specific on something. And there does come a point in every project, in every endeavor, where you're done. And I think one of the messages here is to know when enough is enough. Know when you're finished with something, and then let it go. You did the best you could possibly do. What's next? We see this like with music artists. Some of them are very prolific. They just keep moving and keep going. And some are very, they have perfectionist tendencies. But sometimes if they take too long, people forget. So don't take too long. Move on to the next thing. There's so many other things this month that are calling to you. And I feel like for you don't have to fixate as much. So one of the program resets that you can do is to decide to shift your focus or shift your attention on something different. Okay? In the crowning position, we have the Star card, and that's what you're really being set up to do, is to excel, to shine. Six of Wands and the Star are very similar energies. They're all about sort of stepping into the spotlight, right? And I was thinking about the Star earlier, but I thought, well, what I liked about the 6 of Wands was, again, knowing who you are is going to be really important. So it holds true with this one too. When you look at some of the people that end up getting popularity really quickly, it's almost better if it's a slow and steady burn, and then they get their success, because they'll have a core group of people that know them. They know who they are. They know what it's like to have a little and have a lot. And then they're cool. They're fine. They don't mess up as much. Sometimes when you're thrust into the spotlight, it's discombobulating, because there are, again, the projections of what people think and want and are saying about you, the gossip, the rumors. And then there's the you, and you know who you are. And you're like, do I have to say something about this, etc.? So you're being set up to go to the next level. If it's taking a little longer to get there, it's all in divine timing, and you're going to be like that great example that I was saying there, where the person's just, it's going to be cool. You'll say, I worked hard for this. Thank goodness it finally happened. Try to enjoy the rise. Don't push yourself to, don't shoot to the top, because then it's like a shooting star. It's going to crash. So take your time to ascend. It doesn't have to be a meteoric rise, right? Okay. And then also, this is a time where you may be thrown into something and you're still going to be okay, even though I talked about that. So if you've been given the spotlight or been given a platform, look back on everything that you've done. It may feel like it was all of the sudden, but very rarely is it all of the sudden. It does happen. Sometimes you are just kind of thrust into the moment. But what I'm seeing here in the card shows me that there was some thought, there was some manifestation, and you deserve it. So enjoy, don't question, embrace, don't get in your head too much, and it'll be fine, okay? You have a chance to shine. People are looking to you for inspiration, for insight, and you have a chance to be successful. The Star card is great. There's really nothing negative that I can say about it, particularly if that's in your crowning position, okay? All things are pointing towards you being able to reach the next level, which I like. All right. We have 6 of Pentacles here, near future. So looking at this as in the larger context of this Celtic Cross, this is a key card, because this is connecting you to your possibilities. This is connecting you to your outcome. This is the key from the past and what's going on in your headspace. So this is very much, it's not the future. I mean, I read this more as where you're finally going. I think this is where you're going to make it or break it. So this is totally a make it or break it card. The Six of Pentacles is discernment. Should I do it? Does this work for me? Is this authentic for me? It is a card where we are often faced with the very real need to say yes or no. Only you can decide the yes or the no. But it should be easy. There should be this sort of, everything that we've been working on today should help you with that. Is it aligned to your goal? Is it something that's going to be appreciated? When you decide to help or work with someone, do they say thank you? Do they use the information, the advice, or the resources and do something with it? Or do they just kind of like discard it or move through it really quickly if it's a resource? So that's how you can be discerning and be picky. If you do this, you have more than enough. The Six of Pentacles is more than enough, but not everything that you want. So there is a requisite piece with the Six of Pentacles, which is planning. And yes, definitely you're going to have to say no to certain things. You have to prioritize. This is one where you have to either adjust how much you're going to do or how quickly you're going to do it, because the resources are fixed. So when you fix the resources, it's timing or scope. And for some of you, maybe just, do I want to do it? Timing, scope, or desire. That's how you're going to decide. And by doing that, you will not go broke, resource-wise, okay? You may also be reestablishing balance. I was seeing the constructed energies of masculine and feminine. Could also just be, a boss and a friend, or you and someone else, this little bit of a tug of war, and you're going to find the balance of power, the balance of work-life balance, and anything of that nature. It's so much easier to get it in the Six of Pentacles than it is in the Two, because it's not an either or. There are a lot of shades in the middle, a lot of shades of gray. So use your skills of communication this month to really make it work in your benefit. So we still got the Six of Wands, and I probably could have put both. It was kind of like I was getting the Magician and the High Priestess, so we got both. Here's the Six of Wands. It's coming through in your ego or self position. With it being reversed, basically what it's saying is try not to vicariously please others. So a lot of times you're living someone else's dream, right? Instead, live your dream, live your life, do what's right for you. Success is yours for the taking, so why not do it on your own terms? There's a different way of looking at it. I was alluding to, I recently rewatched Dead Poets Society. There's, a very sad part there where one of the lead characters wants to be an actor, but I guess his parents want him to do something more traditional like law or medicine or whatever. And it's a detrimental sort of thing when you push that onto somebody. Because you can't be yourself. So whether it's you and it's your partner, and let's say your partner wants to try something different and you shut it down, you essentially kind of like, you're cutting off the growth of that person. You're killing a part of them, and you don't want to do that. You really have to think like, why am I so against their growth in that area? And why is it so important for me to control their life if it's not going to hurt anybody? And ultimately, everybody gets to decide what they want to do. So as a friend, as a parent, as a child, as a relative, give someone space. And what you could do instead is ask questions, be enthusiastic, and say, tell me more. And how are you going to do that? And well, okay, cool. And what brought this about? And if it's someone else that's questioning you, I would say, do you understand that this is not really up for discussion? This is who I am. This is what I want to do. And you can't change at my core who I am. When I was looking at that old movie, I was just thinking that kid could have just flunked out of school at some point, or just not applied himself and said, you can't force me to do something that I don't want to do. Or could have run away. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the choice that was made would not have been the choice that I would have made. But that's because we're in a different time, and that was in the past. So there are a lot of choices on outcomes. You can just say no, or you can prove someone wrong, or you can prove yourself right. Like, be authentically you, because your successful energy should go towards something that's going to feed your soul. And that's the important thing with the Six of Wands. Peer pressure, family pressure, societal pressure to do something that you don't want to do when you can really do something that you want to do and it'll still be successful. I'm so happy to see like different types of movies being made right now. And I'll stop talking about it soon, I promise. But like Heartstopper, great example of LGBTQ plus representation. And it's so simple and so kind of like sweet. And I'm happy to see that got out there and like everybody's watching it. So you never know, like we need different types of representation out there, and it's cool to see stuff like that. So we need more sort of different things that we haven't seen before, because it gets boring, doesn't it? I think the same is true of music right now. I'm grateful that like when I grew up, there was a lot of different. I feel like it was exciting in the past century a little bit, because if you look at the music of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, it was radically different, right? You had sort of like a lot of the hippie vibes, and we had disco, then we had new wave, then you had grunge, you had post-grunge, like the pop and the sort of like Spice Girls at the end of that 90s period, which was exactly the opposite of Nirvana. All this weird stuff that happened over like 40 years. There's been some cool music in the past 20 years, but it's harder, it mushes together. So it's cool when there's something that kind of comes through and it changes the landscape, right? So I think it's really important for us to do things in our everyday lives. It may not seem exciting. You deciding to not do what your parents want to do, or to do something that is just unusual for whatever reason, it reminds people that you could be inspiring someone else. You know, you could change the life of someone else in your life. So yeah, 90s R&B. Yeah, I just miss the sort of like different sonic sounds, because right now it sounds like everything's Pro Tooled and everyone sounds the same. There are subtle differences. There's still some good stuff going on in like indie rock and everything. But yeah, let's do something fun. Let's make some noise and make some change in a really positive way. Okay, so at the core, you have a chance to make a splash. I just want to make sure it's your splash. Enough said. Let's look at your environment, and let's look at hopes, fears, and opportunities. They're very similar energies, and both of them can be, these are the only things that can hold you back. So near future, environment, hopes, fears, and opportunities. These are the cards to watch. This is where the power is. This is the, oh my gosh, everything in the kitchen sink card. This is the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is good for exploring, brainstorming, but sometimes the facade that we see there with the mask can get in the way, or the worrying too much about what do I do to please this person, that can get in your headspace. So basically, I think the most important thing for you is to pick something that you feel attached to, that you feel like you could make a difference in, that you feel like you want to do, that all of the above. Because if you're going to work at it or on it, why not enjoy it? Why not feel really, really connected to it? Looking at the two center cards, also very key for my professional people out there, artists and artisans. Love it, and someone else will love it too. Love it, and it will find the right home. All of these cards, and love it, and someone will be interested in buying it or distributing it or connecting to it. So you have to love it, and you have to love you, because whether you're marketing a product or you're trying to put your best foot forward and it's more about you, love and acceptance, self-confidence, self-love, acceptance, and then also whatever it is that you're working on, love it to death before you put it out there. Really feel like this is it. All right. You may have a hard time focusing. This can also be ADHD. So if you're having a hard time focusing, ask for some help, prioritize, and just figure out, again, where can I make the best impact or influence. As we look here at hopes, fears, and opportunities, some of you may be afraid with the Seven of Pentacles that you are just going to have like a hard time being able to get everything done. This is a reverse card, so it shows me an old pattern that's coming through that you have actually figured out, and it's just really about the decision that I'm done with this, or I understand what I need to do. Patience is the most challenging aspect of the Seven of Pentacles. You see this guy looking at that little tree or bush and he's wishing it was 3 times that size. He wants like a Jack and the Beanstalk thing. It doesn't grow overnight. So set the expectations realistically there and realize that there are some things that you can control. There are some things where you're surprised. There are also tangible things and sort of blocks that we'll have to work around. So you don't want to stretch yourself too thin, overpromise. You don't want to overspend, and you don't want to rush. And those are the lessons of the Seven of Pentacles. So be patient, be persistent, and be practical. Okay? And if you do that, you're fine. You can still have a lot of room to dream and a lot of room to, kind of reach. But when it comes to, when you've gone too far, you know when you're buying something and you put out that credit card and think, I really shouldn't do this. Just pause for a second and think, all right, do I need this or can I go with this? Or do I need it right now or can I do it next month? Make sure that you have enough to pay things off. And that, again, it's just about overextension here. I think as long as you don't overextend, you'll be fine. Healing takes time. Progress takes time. That's the piece to be patient with. I like that we have this Ace of Pentacles in the outcome. The only thing to kind of be mindful of with that is with it reversed, there's always the chance for you to say no if you want to. Or you can push back and say, I need a little bit more of this, or not just yet. There is a little bit of hesitation that's coming through with the reversed Ace of Pentacles that you want to really kind of sit with and think about. Are you ready? Do you want it? Do you believe in it? Is it enough? And these are all good questions, and they can all affect the when, the how, or the actual, am I going to do this? Okay, but ultimately we see an opportunity sitting out here in the outcome, and that's a good thing. And just like buying a house, or just like negotiating a salary for a job, or deciding, should I get married? Big contracts, big decisions, it's okay to sit on it for a little bit and say, yes, but I need to consider this, this, and this. Or, some sort of protective thing needs to be put in place contractually. So take your time. Don't rush into anything big because it's going to be there for a while. And that's the main thing. And if it doesn't feel right, then don't go for it. Okay? That there's something better, or you're not ready yet. So don't get that other person connected until you're ready. It's definitely a good month for love. We're going to be looking at that in a second. But before I get ahead of myself, let me just break down what we're looking at here in the expanded forecast. We always start with self. We'll look at health, and that's mind, body, and spirit. Then we'll look at wealth, which is money, resources, life purpose, love, which can hit on all types of relationships, and then destiny, which is malleable. So let's begin with your health card. We have your spirit animal here. It says, thank you, Animal Kingdom, for blessing me, my path with love. When I'm looking at this, basically it almost looks like a hawk or a falcon or some sort of bird of prey in the background. And when I see spirit animal too, this is really just your connection to spirit. So let's break this down. Spirit animal, spirit. Some of you might just be waking up a little bit. And there are different things in your life that can do that. Sometimes it's a tangible rite of passage like graduation, right? So you've graduated and you're connecting and you're thinking, what is it that I like? When I look at spirit totems or spirit animals, I'm looking for signs and symbols. So like when I'm having a bad day, a lot of times, or I don't really have bad days. If I have a bad moment, if I'm down energetically a little bit, I'm outside. A hummingbird is my sort of one of my symbols from the universe to snap out of it, like Moonstruck. So it'll actually come and buzz in front of my face for a second, and it makes me smile, it makes me happy, and I'm like, I hear you, I know. Raise your frequency, it's gonna be okay. Ladybugs will do the same for me. The day that I adopted Apollo, I had to wait. They had to kind of consider me too. But as I was sitting there were a couple of ladybugs that landed on me, and ever since they've been lucky symbols because of my little lucky charm there in the background. So different things in the universe can come to you when you are being shown like this is going to be okay. So look for the external signs and symbols. They're all around you. And then also, you don't need a rite of passage to connect, but it helps. So graduation, marriages, funerals, moving, these are big life events that kind of snap us out of what we're kind of like this sort of sleepy state. I'm looking at this and I really think some of you are just waking up. So whatever your wake up call is, now is the perfect time. Let's go ahead and look at the different cards here and see what you need to be paying attention to, okay? So before I do this, a standard disclaimer. I'm helping you navigate energy. Energy very much affects, though, your body. I mean, we've got electrical systems in our body, from our nerves to our brain to our heart, right? It's all, one day we're going to look at this and think, why were we separating mind, body, and spirit? But for legal reasons. I'm looking at the spirit component. If there's anything that's going on with your body, work with a professional. Same thing with your mind. But hopefully with the spiritual component, I can help you do things that are going to get you on the right path for health. All right. So, a couple of notes here. The main thing that's coming through is, like I said, concentration and focus. Could be the most challenging thing for you. How do I stay focused? How do I connect to what it is that I need to do right now? So that's the first thing that's coming through. And with this, it could be as simple as changing your environment a little bit. I was happy to see that some people weren't bothered by the construction sounds when I was doing the Pisces reading, but I couldn't focus. Like if you have a jackhammer or drill and things are pounding, I can't remember what I'm saying. I was trying to speak over it. So there could be something environmental like that where it doesn't work. If you have a kid, if there's busy outside sounds, you might have to work in a different environment or different time of day, like I had to time shift it if you need to. There could be ADHD. There could be other issues going on. There might be some emotional components. Again, work with a professional if that's going on. You might also just have too much on your plate. Again, this card is about overextension. So if you've promised one too many extracurricular activities that you're going to do something, pull out a little bit. And if you have too many people asking you for stuff, pull back and say, I can't focus. I need to kind of do this or this, right? All right, let me see. The other thing that's coming through here with the Six of Pentacles, again, is just achieving better balance across all aspects of your life. It could be work life, it could be finances. It's really just about the power of saying no. So by all means, do that. Because you're actually poised for success. Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Six of Wands. Six of Wands reversed. Pressure to succeed. So try to work on not feeling like the whole world is sitting on your back and you can't make a mistake. Excuse me, it's unrealistic to put that much pressure on yourself. And I would even go so far as to say it's not very productive either. Let's see if there's anything else. I think that's pretty much it. You have a decent spread here this month, so no new presenting issues either. It mostly looks to me like not getting distracted, saying no, and then also not rushing a recovery. This is the only other thing I would add. So for any of you that are on the road to recovery, whatever type of recovery that might be, it takes a little bit more time. You're nearly there, but you're not there yet. So give yourself another month or so to kind of fully get strong. So whether it's physical therapy or finishing out some other course of action, finish that first before you enter into something new. Okay, so that is your health card. Let's move on to wealth. So we have this Hathor light codes. It says light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. All right, this particular energy definitely connects to the dream stuff that I was seeing. Full system upgrade, love it. And I like the idea of just kind of going fully into the light energy, because if we were to take the higher and lower frequencies, it would just all be light at the end of the day. So this is in wealth, this is in career. So many of you are trying to break through, because everything that I was talking about, the power struggle is there too. So we have the power recall here, the upgrade here, and then taking the path of the light there, okay? So if you're in a place where you have hit a glass ceiling, where you've hit a wall and you can't get to the next level, take a look at the people around you. If they're just kind of like not able to lift you up or are trying to kind of push you down, that's a wake-up call that it might be time to try to find a new way to spend your time and energy. For you too, there's also a reminder that sometimes that tug of war between someone that is closed-minded, kind of operating with the Five of Swords energy. They don't want to hear you. They don't want to give you an inch. They just want to kind of like feed off of that friction. You could spend your time and energy more wisely. And that's what the Six of Pentacles is really asking you to weigh out. The minute you get through that, you start to recover, you start to get better, and things start to kind of go in the right space. So love yourself enough to leave if you need to. And it's easier said than done, but it is a very good thing in the long run. And for some reason, it's very hard. I know when I left my corporate job, I really wanted to leave on good terms, and I really thought through that sort of exit strategy. And it was still difficult. And there were a lot of people that kept asking me, are you sure? Are you ready? What are you doing? And so that's why I had to be very, very ready at that point so that there was no pushback. And again, that experience taught me the importance of just being yourself. There's other times in my life where had I just been a little bit more clear, where I wasn't asking for permission, I would just say, I'm just simply telling you this is what I am, this is what I want to do, this is what the next step is. Like, that's it. This isn't up for a big discussion. Then it would have been more powerful because people would have said, okay, you've done the work. I just wanted to make sure. Because a lot of times that's part of it. So if this is happening, you may want to remind someone that I'm not really trying to change your mind, that this is where I need to go. So you're either in or you're not. Let's look at some of the other cards here with respect to work. So for many of you, I see recovery, because going from the 6 to the 7 is still progress, slow recovery and slow growth. And I see an unexpected sort of opportunity, or for some of you, you might inherit or you might gain wealth, or again, some sort of a potential for more money. But it comes from an unexpected source or out of left field, and you just have to think, wow, okay, is that something that I'm open to? So I see growth and I see more opportunity coming your way. For some of you, there could be the inconvenience of a work romance or a school romance when you're trying to focus on something else because there's so much going on, but we've got the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups right in the center here. So even when it comes to work and partnerships, I feel like someone new could be coming in. Whether or not the timing is convenient, they're there. If you're trying to find a work partnership, looks good to me. Actually pretty decently matched with the 6 and the 7 of Pentacles, so I like that. The only thing that's coming in as a challenge this month is there are too many, like, I feel conversations could just go all over the place. Who's the boss? Going back to the Ganesha card, that's, I think, what you really need to focus on, is getting some control over a group of people that could be all over the place. Everybody's trying to say something and nobody's really listening and nobody's leading the charge. So for some of you, organization is going to be key, and you have a chance to step into that if you want to. This is a great card when and if you're ready to pitch an idea or try to kind of put your best foot forward. People have been waiting for you. So if you're ready, then do it. Okay? All right. Let's move on to love. I think that's the key things here for business. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed. No, I think most of it's been said. So it's a good month, actually, by and large. Let's move on to relationships. All right. So as we look at relationships here, we have vulnerability and freedom. Isn't that always the name of the game? Look at how she's reaching for the star, and we got the star card. So let's talk about these two things. So when you truly love someone and connect in a way that maybe you weren't even anticipating, you can't help but sort of like put yourself out there and be more yourself, right? So that vulnerability and that freedom energy, it kind of goes hand in hand. You've got to, it's not that you're wearing your hand on your sleeve, but in order to go to the next level of connection, you have to truly show who you are. So I feel like some of you are at that point where you're like, what have I got to lose? This is really worth it. This is worth me putting myself out there, out on a limb, basically, okay? And someone else could be sharing something about themselves where it makes them feel vulnerable. They're worried, have I said too much, like that old REM song, which is, by the way, just about a crush. Losing my religion is about having a crush on someone. Have I said enough or said too much? And, it's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, losing myself, losing my mind. So some of you might be in the middle of a crush, trying to figure out, how do I say what I'm going to say? Did I say too much? Did I mess up? The truth is, if you've said what you needed to say, it could kind of be cute and endearing to the other person. So being vulnerable is not the worst thing. Just focus on what the next conversation is, what the next thing is. Let's take a look at this on a deeper level. I'm going to break it down into 3 different components. Those of you in a relationship, those that are looking for a relationship, and those that are single and happy. All right, so let's take a look and see what the messages are. If you're in an existing relationship, I really like that we have both the Ace of Cups and the Two of Cups. Okay, so things are grounded in a good space. There might have been a little bit of a miscommunication here with the Page of Swords. Someone said something sharp, maybe said something too soon, etc., etc. The good news with this one is it's recoverable. Like King or Queen of Swords in reverse can be a lot, but the Page of Swords in reverse is just like it had to be said, or you were saying something in the heat of the moment. The thing is, it did sit with the other person quite a bit. So you've got to it's also ricocheting in their head, or what they said to you is ricocheting in their head. So this to me can be like obsessing over something. So I think the most important thing here is to remind them that you're in this for the right reasons, that you want this to be a successful partnership or relationship, that you're willing to give and take, and that you're willing to listen to them. This is actually about receiving. So I think the most important thing in a relationship right now is to make sure that you receive the feedback or they receive the feedback. We have a very positive card overseeing all of this. So give and take, listen, think about it a little bit. I think you can get through it. This looks like a very manageable energy this month because it always comes back to love and partnership. Okay? But there is a little bit of digesting and giving and taking. And it feels like some of you might just need to say what's on your mind, because sometimes we'll keep obsessing about that, or we misinterpreted it. I mean, a lot of times you think someone meant something, and especially now that we primarily communicate in text, so much can get lost in context with those text messages, and we can stress out about them so much. It's not worth it. So find a way to make sure the context is there, say what you need to say, get it off your head, get it off your mind, and then I feel like it can come back to a good space. It looks manageable to me, okay? One thing that's interesting before I move on to those looking for love, we do have the Star card here. One of the two partners, if not both of you, could be in a position where it's time to do something more. So there could be more visibility, there could be more scrutiny even for the relationship. So even though I'm reading for those of you in a partnership, if one partner took on a more public role, or if it's a new one, if it's a fresh partnership, and now all of a sudden you're looking at what people think. When you use the word boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partner, all of a sudden people start to attach new things, and it can get in your headspace. So it's the two of you. That's actually the main message here. Forget about all this other stuff. This is all that matters, these two cards. As long as you guys are on a good space, this is optics, and this is your head. This is what's going on in both of your minds. That's the optics. This is give and take. You can do it. All right, focusing on those that are seeking out a relationship. Well, this is a good time to do that. You might actually be surprised that someone's already looking in your direction, seeking you out as well. There's a fun line at the end of Practical Magic where she said, you only love me because I wished for you. I put a spell out there. And he says, well, I wish for you too. So someone's putting the same sort of energy out there. All you have to do is kind of like let it go and trust that if someone's coming in, that don't get in your headspace like Sandra Bullock did in Practical Magic. It's not just the spell. So don't use spells anyway on this one. Just put out manifestation. Say, I'm ready to receive love and abundance in the highest forms. And when that love and abundance comes in, trust that was exactly what it's call and answer. The other person said, I'm ready for love and abundance in the highest forms too. So the two of you were ready, and there's a synchronicity that opened up, and you're in the right place at the right time. So some of you have the power to open up a synchronicity, okay? Public places, we've got the Six of Wands, where you least expect it. Also maybe in an inconvenient sort of setting, because I said earlier, this could happen at work or school. You might be trying to get something else done and you bump into somebody, okay? So I see not swiping on the apps, although by all means, like
go to all the different sort of, apps and things that you need to. But this month, it's more likely that it's going to be like a public gathering or a friend of a friend or a party or something of that nature, or work, something where you normally wouldn't be focusing on trying to connect. And again, it's more the manifestation and the synchronicity, like right place, right time. Just don't get in your headspace, okay? Because this is your headspace. I don't know if I deserve this person, or is this right, or am I thinking too much about this? And then the other thing to kind of focus on this month is distraction. You may be so distracted that you miss that person that's trying to give you a hint. So that's one thing that could be happening. There may also be, in addition to this, you could also be overworked or overcommitted. I think the most important thing that you can do this month is to give yourself the time and space to breathe a little bit. Clear your head out, and then give yourself time to rest and take care of yourself. Because you don't want to meet somebody when your head is going like a mile a minute. Otherwise, you're poised to make that connection. It's a good month to meet people. We have 2 pages too. So, these are the court cards that presented themselves. So I would say the fun thing here is whether you're young or old, there's something playful about the energy. There's something youthful, something cool. So I like that. This to me feels there's a lot of like butterflies or the heart energies coming through. So I like that. Pages are good. Pages are young. Pages have that sort of free energy. Okay. So definitely a good month if you're looking for love. If you are single and happy, good for you. As I always like to say, nonetheless, you have options coming in. So if you are single, happy, but open to love, this is a good time for that, because you may have someone that comes in that's interested in you. If you are trying to get over someone, I do also see this sort of distraction here, or them thinking about you. There's a lot to focus on. You can make a lot of progress financially this month, and at work, and even just like in your own sort of goals and dreams. So feel free to put it there, and you have a lot of help coming through. People are interested in connecting with you. It doesn't have to be romantic. That could be some resources coming through. That's like, so say, yes, I would love your help with this, or sure, what's your opinion? So you have support here, and a big chance to stand out. So if you want to put something out for consideration, sell a product, sell an idea, pitch a product or idea, or try to market even your own services, like maybe you're like a realtor or something of that status where name and picture need to be out there. This is a good time for marketing. Okay, let's go to your destiny card. We have an interesting totem which can kind of go between, I always like it if there's an animal that can go between like 2 elements. So the beaver is both land and water, and also doesn't sort of like freak out about diving in to something. So your message this month is, when you're ready, go for it. Go completely all in, because the beaver and the star energy are connected. And also the ability to use all your tools. So we see his teeth there. We know he can actually cut through things and construct things. So it's a hands-on sort of month where once you dig into something, you'll be fine. You're not going to drown in all of the sort of minutia of something. I feel like you're very much set up for success. The star and the beaver tell me you can do it. So what's holding you back? All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at your big idea. The big idea, of course, is one overarching card that can kind of help you focus. And that's important this month, because when we're looking here, there can be the distraction. So let's see, as we look at the big idea, what you can do to really focus on what's possible. All right, so everybody's favorite, the Tower. This is the Tower reversed, though. And I'm joking and facetiously saying that, but actually the Tower is a good card, particularly when reversed, because it says, I know I need to change something. Like for me, I know I need to move. Easy, like the noise and all the stuff that's been going on, I just thought it's finally time. I don't know how or when, but I know very soon. So this can be a move. This can be a decision to break up. This can be a decision to change your major, change your job. It's usually big, and it usually takes a little bit of time. You can't just turn the switch and make it happen tomorrow. Not always. Sometimes you can. But a lot of times, the Tower reversed is more premeditated. This could happen at any moment. This says 1 to 3 months. Needs to happen soon, but it takes a little bit more work on your part. So get ahead of the change. I want to move before the ceiling falls down on me, basically, because there's so much going on. I'm joking, but they actually did drill through the ceiling in my bathroom, and then they had to patch it up. And I'm like, it's literally the tower. So I understood that it was time to move on. I don't need any more construction issues to get the point. So for you, what you can do is, like, let's say there's a merger happening at your place of work. Speak up. Ask what new openings might be a part of this. Like, is my job safe? Or, I've been thinking about going to this division. Is a transfer possible? What is this going to entail? You never know until you speak up. In a relationship, if things are kind of like not where they need to be, talk it out and say, I feel like we're at a pivotal point. We're either going to make it or break it. So I want to make it work. But if you don't, then we need to figure out what's next. So get ahead of it and control it. And if we take the Ganesha card as the chariot in this one, you take the wheel and drive, okay? And that's all that's to be said with the tower. Change is necessary. You have to get ahead of the change. It's retrograde. I would expect the tower to show up somewhere. So, and the retrograde's around the middle of the month. So do the work now to get ahead of it. So the fact that I know that I want to move and I'm starting the search right now, even if I find something in retrograde, I'm just finishing something that I started. So technically it's okay. And I probably wouldn't move until after retrograde anyway, so it would be okay. So anyway, sometimes you have to make a change in retrograde. If it's something that's been overdue, it's okay. So think it through. You are the one that's controlling it. Therefore, the tower is something that's powerful, and it's a shifting energy and a moving energy, and you don't have to feel beholden to it. All right. Let's look and see what's going to help you or hinder you. Blessings and blocks. We'll pull the card first. Hello, High Priestess. We were waiting for you. And then we'll talk about it. All right. So blessings and blocks. We'll start with your blessing card. So, hello. We knew this was coming. I talked about this in the channel messages. It's all about, you are the programmer. You're the creator. And that's what I was seeing with all the sort of like computer constructs that were coming through. You're the projector too. You're not the hologram. So basically, the High Priestess is the film projector and also the computer programmer. And so you have the capacity to control the projection. You have the capacity to rewrite the program. And when you do it, you all probably be surprised at how quickly you see results. So the sooner you change your mind, the sooner you change the reality around you. And that's the blessing. You're going to see things more clearly. You're going to see through the nonsense, and you're going to be able to manifest. And that's what she tells you in so much as being the blessing this month. The block is actually still a blessing because of the way this card is positioned here. 8 of Swords is an awakening, but we may disbelieve what we see. So basically, 8 of Swords upright is I don't want to see it, or I feel trapped, or if I ignore it, it probably will go away. The reversal of this is, oh, this is what's going on, but I still have trouble accepting it. I'm still disbelieving, even though the High Priestess came through and showed it to me, even though I feel it, even though I know it. So if I just look at this card, I'm going to ask you the question, what would it take to help you make up your mind for the next thing? How many different ways do you need to see it? 8 of Swords tells you it should just be one. So whatever it is this month, if you get some sort of an indication that it's time to go in this direction or it's time to do this, that's the universe saying, come on, we're good now. Pay attention to not just what you see, but what you hear and what you feel, because this is sometimes a limited card, but whenever I get any of the blindfolded ones, 2 of Swords, 8 of Swords, it's saying you have to go beneath the surface. So sometimes we're blinded so that we can hear or so that we can think. And that's really what this is about. You're being asked to look at it differently. Okay? So, you're going to be fine. You actually already know what you need to do. It just surprised you. And we are all allowed to be surprised from time to time. Let's move on to the viewer's choice here, where you have a chance to vote on some things. Let me look at the time. I think we're okay. Eventually I may cut this because I still need to do sun, rising, and moon. I'm just going to give you two choices. We're going to keep it simple today. I think that's part of it. Sometimes I do too many choices. So we'll do two choices and keep it sort of like quick and easy here. So, all right. So one thing that I want to look at or help you with is potentially your resource management, because we have the balancing cards here with the 6 and 7 of Pentacles. I really am intrigued with what we just talked about. So maybe being able to see things from another angle. Those are the two that I'm going to let you vote on. And while you're voting on those, I'm going to take a look here at relationships just overall, because we got a lot of cards on relationships. So I'm going to do a reader's choice on relationship dynamics, what's going on with the 2 of Cups and the Ace of Cups. We got 2 cards. All right, exciting. And then I'll let you vote on the other one. All right, so with respect to that, what an exciting card to flip out of the deck. So the Luna deck has a couple of extra ones. I think it has the Artist, the Well, and the Fate card, if memory serves. So what do we have here? 22. So this would come right after the World, right? So Fate, basically coming through and saying, I was asking about love. It's meant to be or not to be. Basically, this is a nice card to come through to kind of make you feel better. So if you're deciding to get out of something, or if you're deciding, I really want to give this a chance, this is what you called in, okay? So it was fated to be, or it was fated to wrap up. And then we've got the Knight of Wands coming through in reverse. The speed with which things are happening may not be exactly to your liking. Exactly what they should be, but maybe not to your liking. You're also getting in your head too much about this. Keep an open mind, keep an open heart, and let the pacing happen when it's supposed to, because sometimes the universe knows better than us who to bring in at what time. So I would say probably half a dozen, if not a dozen times, I've read for people where they have said, I keep asking my guides, God, the universe, send me a partner. And I'm like, oh, so not specific. You could meet anybody. So send me the right person. Send me the one that I'm waiting for. Not even send. What I say instead is, help me do the work internally so that I'm ready when I meet this divine partner that I've been seeing in my dreams and visions. Help me make it happen faster, and help the person be ready too, because I want us both to be ready at the same time. Work on inner work, less on like going fishing. That's not what this is. This is being the magnet and hoping that the other person's receptive to that magnetic energy. And that's what we see. Timing and inner work is what's important. Not just fishing. Okay. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at which one you chose for me. Seeing things from another angle. Perfect choice. All right, so by a decent amount there, 58%. So good. Seeing things from another point of view, I think that's really important. We had the 7 of Cups, and also even just the whole card there that I was getting with the the Tower reversed. It's just a chance to kind of see opportunity from a different perspective. So let's see things from another angle and see what the message is in respect to that. Okay, we've got the Hermit card in reverse, and let's talk about this a little bit. All right, so sometimes we get very comfortable with our own company. Sometimes we surround ourselves with a lot of people that have similar thoughts. And I love that we can see the star so beautifully here. And we also got the star coming through here. So you know yourself. You know what's possible. You're that star right there wanting to come out. There could be some people in your life that are kind of closed off or closed down. And your goal, because this card was reversed, is to break through or break out. So the different point of view is a couple of things. First of all, to see it from a different angle, you're going to have to expose yourself to different types of people and different types of energies, different resources, different words, different thoughts. So expanding. Hermit is introspective. Hermit reverse is like the world. It's more extroverted and it's more expansive. So try things that you don't normally want to try. The other thing with this is it's the reverse of a wallflower. So this is saying upright, I need to take time, I need to explore, I need to know myself. This is saying I know myself. It's time for me now to step out and to share what I've learned. It's teaching, it's exchange, it's stepping into the spotlight. And that's really what's happening for you right now, is that opportunity to be the star. So it's convenient and comfortable to be where you're at, but it's important and probably necessary for the next phase of your growth to go into the messier place of the unknown. And whenever you start something new, it's difficult. You're not going to be the expert. You're going to be learning. You're going to be trying something different, but you're also going to be growing and having a great time because it's not the same old, same old. All right, we're going to do something new now. We're doing sun, rising, moon messages, specific messages. As I said at the beginning, you can always use this for all of these, plus your Venus, plus any other aspect of the chart that you happen to know. But what I like to do, because these are the three most frequent viewed aspects, I just want to make sure that I break it down a little bit, okay? So that we talk about each one of these. I'm going to turn the camera down and pull the three cards first, and then we'll talk about how it's going to relate to Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Sun, Rising, Moon. Three great cards. All right. Let's talk about Taurus Sun. So Sun is kind of like the default that you would look at. It's your personality, it's what's going on, it's your birth sign. When all else fails, look at this. This pretty much sums you up. So this month, the biggest challenge for Sun is basically, Taurus Sun is, who's the boss? And it's the second time we've gotten two Chariot cards, right? They've both been reversed. So it's your chance to take the wheel and drive, should you decide to do it. And sometimes if we look at this card really close, the challenge is just someone's waiting for somebody to take charge. The two horses at the front, if they don't have a leader, if they don't have someone steering the ship, it's just sort of like, which direction do we go in? What's going on? Who am I? So for you, I think that even if you're not sure that you can be the boss or you should be in the lead, at some point someone has to say, all right, I'll take lead on this. How about if you help with this? You can delegate. There can be a few people just divvy out the responsibilities. It's a form of leadership, and you can all be point person for that. So maybe share the lead if you need to, but somebody needs to get organized. And so the more organized you can be, the more comfortable you can be about pointing people in the right direction, the easier things are going to be this month, okay? And then knowing when you can't control someone is going to be also important. So, we had the Six of Wands card reversed, which a lot of times can be somebody that, again, is trying to force someone to go down a path that they think will be successful for them. People are either going to receive or reject whatever it is that you're trying to put out there. So know when you can make a difference, know when you need to pull back a little bit. So let's look at rising and ascendant. Rising is what you want people to see. We talked about a hologram today, the projector. So we're all projecting our rising or ascendant energy out there. It's not really who we are 100%. It's what we want to be. It's what we want to be perceived as. It's how we interact in the public, in business, etc. So it's important because it's going to affect you in those areas. So when you want to know, how can I be more successful in work? How can I get more respect from people? How are people receiving me? All of that. That's what we want to look at here with the rising and ascendant. What a great time to speak up. We have the Ace of Swords coming here. Write it down, speak up, take some action on something. It's a good card because it's upright. People are more than likely they're going to listen to what you have to say or what you have to offer. So if you are Taurus rising or ascendant, it's a good time for you. Do something exciting with that in your career. Like that's where I see the most work kind of happening, or making a difference. You're going to actually see movement. When you say something, people listen, things happen. Okay. Good card for leadership, good card for writing, good card for construction, good card for anything really. So get busy, I would say, if you are Taurus rising or ascendant. Moon is things that we kind of keep to ourselves. It's our fears, it's our hopes. It comes out sometimes in our relationships, but it's also some of the stuff that we're not even ready to deal with somehow. You've got to, and this is where my placement is. Here's the cool thing with Taurus moon. You've been sitting on something for a while that could actually then help you in other areas. So this may be an idea for work. You may also be really you have this lovely energy of being able to nurture and help other people. All this can do is serve you in a positive way. The King of Pentacles upright, there's nothing really negative. If he's reversed, I have some things to say, but upright, it's good. I think you should be focusing on matters of the home. Some of you may even be considering maybe it's time to sell or buy a big investment like a house. You might be thinking of doing renovation work. You might be thinking of just general financial health and wealth. The good news is it's the right time for you to be focusing on these questions. Whether you act on them now or not, that's something altogether different. But by just putting energy into planning, you're opening doors up in the future. Great time financially, great time practically, great time sort of like on personal development, okay? And it's indicative of you too. So you're showing up as yourself here, which is good. So this is it's a great time for moon. Let's look at all three together, and then we'll move on to the final part of this reading today. All right, so because there's common threads here. So again, sun is really about who's the boss, what's the focus, how do we kind of like get everybody on the same page, and also knowing when you can't control people and when you need to just focus on going your own way. Rising is about taking action, speaking up, putting it down, like sketch it out, put it down in writing. Until you put a plan together, it's hard to know what to do next. And then moon sign is really powerful, actually. This is about being able to take that plan that we saw there and really manifest with it. I think that career and home are coming really, really strong in for the moon sign. So some of you are deciding to focus on those areas or even personal growth in a way that you haven't before. And it can only benefit you based on what I'm seeing there. Okay. So we've gone through everything except the meditation, sound bath, and final card. Final card is kind of special because this is going to be your chance to ask a question. You'll do it silently, but because we have a smaller group, we'll be able to pick up on the nuances of what's going on. Even if you watch this on replay, the fact that you intended to watch will help me connect with you, or that you synchronistically found it, doesn't matter. So just focus on your question whenever you see this, and I'll help you read through that. Before we get there, please like, subscribe, and opt into notifications. Follow me on social media if you haven't already. And after the meditation, if you feel inclined, you can give back through SuperStickers, Super Chat. All right, let's prepare for the meditation. I always let you vote on the instrument, so let me get that poll up. And this meditation's quick. I know a lot of you are like, I don't have time, or I'm walking, or I'm driving. Just listen. It'll be about a minute and a half, and then we'll get into your final card. All right, so I have a singing bowl. I also have a crystal pyramid. So feel free to vote on whichever instrument you like the most. And as we get set up for today's meditation, let me take a quick look at everything on the table here. So clarity is one thing that I definitely keep coming back to with the Seven of Cups. I think if we're clear on intention, you'll be able to shine, and then maybe moving from the energy of the Hermit to the Star, since they both came through. Okay? So let's work on that, and we'll work with kind of like a nocturnal meditation today. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Let go of any tension that might be in your neck, your shoulders, or your back. Let your thoughts flow like a river. Imagine that you are, or maybe like a stream or a creek, something gentle. Just imagine that you're laying down on the ground. You can hear a stream nearby, and you can feel the energy of the water moving as it traces its way across the land. And you allow your thoughts to connect to the sound, to the rhythm, to the movement of the water. And you release the thoughts that you no longer need, and you just allow them to flow with the stream as it takes that out into larger bodies of water, back into the ocean itself. So you're letting go of stuff that you don't need and just sending it to source, basically. And then you start to allow yourself to become a big Ace of Cups, since that was your center card, a satellite. So imagining that your head is in the direction of the source of the stream, the energy starts to now flow towards you, towards your crown chakra. And as you sit there on the ground, looking up at the starry sky above you, you actually connect with your third eye. And as you receive energy, a star-like pattern starts to form there, just like we can see here, like what she's holding on to. And you allow that just to open up. And before you know it, you're shining as brightly as the star itself above you or the sun above you. So allow yourself to just fully become suffused or engulfed in this beautiful starlight. Starlight that's coming from your higher self. And take a moment now with this very open third eye to look at the world around you. Look at things that scared you and see them for what they truly are. Look at your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, and see them as something that you can tangibly call into your life. And now use that third eye to project like a hologram what it is, where it is, or who it is that you want to sort of like become, that manifestation. And use that projection energy as we meditate today. I'll be playing the Singing Bowl by popular demand, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound as I play the instrument, and then we'll be right back in about a minute to take a look at your final question. Know now that you are completely awake, completely aware of what is possible for you. This third eye opening is not something that's going to close now. As you walk through the month ahead, you'll be able to discern more easily what's worth your time and energy. You'll be able to clear your mind, clear your head, clear your energy when you need to, and focus on the matter in front of you. And it'll be a productive month for you now. Think about your final question that you've been holding for me. Focus on that. I'm going to go ahead now and shuffle the cards and see what message is coming through before we close. Interesting. Very interesting. This is a very clear answer. Justice reversed is it's typically a no, but it can also be a disbelief card. So for some of you, you're asking me something that you already know the answer to. So justice reversed is typically saying, you know, if there's something that you want to release, it's released. Like, you know, spirits heard that. You can cut that cord connection if you want to. Also, it's probably the best and the most healthy thing for you to do to walk away from something. Now, justice reversed can also be disbelief or a lack of confidence, because the scales reversed are saying, I don't know if I'm worth it. I don't know if it's right for me. I don't know if I believe in myself. Judgment and justice can be disbelief in different levels. Judgment can be sort of like, I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't agree with what's being said. Justice can be a little bit more internal, and it can be more like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if it's right for me. I don't know if I'm worth it. So if it's a confidence issue, you need to work on that. But if you already have a no in your head and you kind of knew it in your heart, this is confirming that there's something that's not right about it. A contract needs to be revised if justice is reversed, or there may be a better option on the table for you, okay? So I call it as I see it, and justice reversed tells me that that's a no or a not yet, or a revision's necessary, or there's a confidence issue at play here. It's not necessarily a hard and fast no, but you have to look at why it came through. Something's not imbalanced about this sort of potential outcome, okay? The other thing here is stand up for what's right. If you don't like it, say no. If you want to change it, go for it, fight for it. But there's something there that needs to balance out. All right, that is my answer to your question. All right, let's go ahead now and wrap everything up. One more chance, if you'd like to subscribe and like this just in case you joined late, please do that. It definitely helps the channel and I appreciate it. And it's absolutely free. I don't know why they don't just use the word follow. Subscribe scares people. You don't have to pay to subscribe. If you would like to get reminders on social media, please join me. I'm at Nicholas Ashbaugh on just about everything but Twitter. Remember that if you do follow me on social media, I never message directly. Anyone that asks for anything in direct message or chat, that's not me. This is the way we connect. And if you do want to give back, here's how you can give back. You can do it through SuperChats, SuperStickers, or through my official website. My website address is here. The live schedule's here. I have posted it for the month ahead, so feel free to take a look. I always like to wrap up with a little bit of gratitude. So thank you to everybody. If you are brand new, well, I'm glad you found me. Please make sure that you do like, subscribe, and share this with somebody. That helps. I see a bunch of folks with green text, so I just want to say thanks to the existing members that have been here for a while. You help make everything here possible. And now let's say thanks to the new members or anybody that gave back through SuperStickers or Super Chat. All right. First things with members, anybody that's new within the last day or so, I will just say welcome. All right, so we have Jenny Davis who rejoined after a month. Thank you very much. Felicia Engel, brand new member. Good to have you here. Keela or Kyla G, thank you very much, rejoining after 4 months. Let's see, we have Shannon Thorpe, Scott Golan, Holly R, Lori Carpenter, Wendy Wright. And I think that is everybody from the past couple of days. So thank you so much to anybody that's joined since the last reading. I'd like to just highlight those. All right, and then before we wrap up, I want to say thanks to all the super stickers and super chats. Beginning with, let's see here, Aaron H., thank you for kicking things off today. I appreciate that. Gailey Riviera, Veronica Mulero, let's see, Mary, thank you very much, or Mari, and Jules in July. I think I got everybody. Thank you so much. Great to have you here with me. A reminder that the rest of the schedule here, let's see, I will be doing Gemini tomorrow, same time, 6 a.m. until, again, I'm out of this apartment or the construction stops. And same thing on the weekends, Sunday at 6 a.m. I'll be here for the collective. And then next week's signs that I'll be reading are Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. All of this is on my website. I'll make sure that I get the next few videos up so you can set reminders. Okay? Thank you very much. Lots of love and light to everybody. Have a great one. What a nice way to sort of get ready for the weekend here almost. So thank you for being a part of this. And I'll see, again, any Geminis tomorrow. Looking forward to it. All right, until then, have a great one. Lots of love and light. Thank you.